All right, today I am going to do a frequently asked questions on the Starlink satellite. There's been a lot of questions, and a lot of people are still waiting for their satellite and are probably wondering whether or not it's worth it. I've had it now for about 6 months, so I've had quite an experience with it. I am in Canada, so I can offer a take from the Canadian point of view in cold weather, which leads me to the very first question, which is how does a satellite hold up in cold weather? Well, the satellite itself has some sort of heater built in. So as you can see, even though it is snow, and we just had snow last night, the satellite itself remains completely clear. So you never have to worry about a snow buildup. You don't actually have to worry about clearing anything off the satellite itself. Piggybacking on that brings us into how does a satellite handle bad weather, storms and whatnot? Because if you've ever had any other type of satellite, you know that in any type of weather, including rain, you can pretty much completely lose your connection. Starlink is completely unaffected by weather. I don't have the download stats to confirm that the speed doesn't decrease whatsoever, but there's absolutely no noticeable difference in speed, whether it be raining, storming, snowing, hurricanes, and we get a lot of hurricanes here on the East Coast. The satellite handles it fine. As you can see, the satellite can sit on the ground, on a pole, pretty much anything. I'm going to bring up the next question, which is how difficult is it to set up the Starlink satellite? It is incredibly simple. Out of the box, it comes with just a few pieces, which includes the dish itself, a post for it to rest on, and it actually comes with a stand which I'm not using. Of course, the wire's with it too, but the wire doesn't disconnect. The wire is permanently connected to the satellite, which is sort of a negative, but it is what it is. So, in terms of setting up, you take the satellite out of the box. You put the stand that's included on the ground. You plug the dish into the stand. You then run a wire, well, the wire that comes with it, into your house. Now, I just got a replacement satellite because mine was damaged due to animals, absolutely no fault of Starlink. So now I'm running mine up to this post, and then it's going to run into the house. Don't judge this incredible work of craftsmanship here. This is going to be caulked. It was just set up, and I'm just doing this now for a temporary solution. So, all you have to do, take the satellite dish, put it in the included stand, put it on the ground somewhere where there is a clear sky. The key is a clear sky. If you have a heavily dense wooded area, like the area behind it, you're not going to get a signal. You need a very clear area. You plug in this one cord into the modem inside, and then that modem gets plugged into your wall. The dish itself automatically aligns. You do nothing, no configuration, no anything. It aligns, it sets itself up, and your internet automatically goes. Does the Starlink satellite have Wi-Fi? Yes, it has a Wi-Fi box included, so you can run your standard regular Ethernet cable from the box to whatever you want. If you want to run a line, or it can run Wi-Fi to however many devices you want. Setup of it can be done in 10 minutes, and that's by somebody who's never done it before. There's no tech. Some people ask if a technician will come out. No, Starlink doesn't send a technician out. You do have to do it yourself. It is the simplest thing you've ever done in terms of hardware, believe me. I've had all kinds of internet, from DSL to modems to different types of satellites in which a technician had to come out. He had to be the one to install the satellite. This is way easier. The only thing you might want a technician for is if you wanted to install this on your roof, which I probably would recommend. It is a pain in the butt to run a wire from where it has to sit to the house because it has to be off the ground. You can just run the wire along the ground, but here in Canada, it's going to get snowed on. If you have any type of rodents or whatnot, the wire could get chewed. Leads me to another question, which is, can you bury the wire? Yes and no. You can't direct bury this cord. It is not rated for it. If you wanted to bury the cord, you would need to run a conduit. So that adds more technical complications, which is why I'm pretty much just running the wire above ground in anticipation. I probably will just connect the satellite to my roof at some point. I didn't want to get into that. I actually sat the satellite on the ground for the most part. There's a lot of animals here. I'm sure you can hear in my background, there's a rooster. A lot of animals come and go. I didn't want anything to have access to it, which is why I put it up on the post and I raised the wire the way I did. All right, I'm going to get into a few more of the frequently asked questions for the Starlink satellite. Of course, the number one thing people always ask is the cost. So Starlink is a little more expensive than your average internet, but not too bad when you compare it to satellites. It costs $150 Canadian, and there's no tax on that. The satellite itself was about $800, I believe, and that had to be ordered. There had to be a down payment. That was when I pre-ordered it, so I don't know if the price has dropped. That was about a year ago I pre-ordered, so the cost is on the high side. The speed itself is good, so of course the speed is always going to vary a lot. I get between 100 and 200 megabytes a second download and about 10 upload, which is good. But more importantly than the speed is the ping. So the ping is really, really good. The ping is between 20 and 30, which is gaming rated ping. Which segues me right into my next question, which is, can I actually game on a satellite? And you can on the Starlink. It has incredibly low latency, a really high download speed, and a decent upload speed. I game, and I can tell you that it is absolutely lagless. You can game just like you could on fiber optic. But not only that, you can game and other people can actually use the internet as well. So it definitely has the speed for that, which is excellent. Another question is the data. How much data do you get? And it is unlimited, which is very unusual in the world of satellites. So it's unlimited data. It's not metered or monitored. And there is no tier system with Starlink, which means you don't pay more for faster internet like you do with all the other internet companies. It is one speed and one speed only, which is their max speed. So you'll always get their fastest speed. They don't throttle you down in any way. And while the speed can vary, like I said, it's between 1 and 200 megabytes, so it's really good. Another thing that I want to mention, which is not really a question, but it's the app. So Starlink has a smart app, which basically involves a lot of different things. So when you initially install Starlink, it sets itself up completely, but what it does is it on the app it'll scan itself for obstructions. So it'll scan your sky, and through the app it'll tell you exactly where the obstructions are and that you need to move your dish in order to get the best possible connection. The app also does a few other things which I found out that most people probably aren't aware of, and that's that if there's any damage to the dish, the app can tell you. So I had something chew my wire, and the satellite app itself told me that there was a problem with the wire itself and that I wasn't getting a maximum internet connection. I went out and lo and behold, there was a chewed wire. So it's able to detect those type of things rather than just be disconnected and you don't know where the connection fell through. It's really good to know exactly what it is. So the app is really smart that way. The app also monitors things for you. It'll monitor any amount of downtime, how long it was down, when it went down, and why it went down. So it knows all that type of stuff. It knows if there was an obstruction for how long and when, so it can give you all that information just so that you can set it up to have the best possible experience. And going on to that, and speaking of the damaged cord, And speaking of the damaged cord, I can get into dealing with Starlink support. Starlink support was amazing. Now, there's always a fear when there is no actual physical business in your area. Starlink, as far as I'm aware, is American? I don't even know. It's not Canadian, that's for sure. So there's nowhere in this area where you can go in if you have problems. It's all done online. So you never know how long you're going to have to wait. I had something chew my cord, so my internet stopped working. So I had to contact support, which I did through the app. Support got back to me within a few hours to let me know that they would send me out a replacement free of charge. They estimated that the replacement would arrive within a couple of weeks. It actually arrived within a day of them telling me they were going to send it out. It got here so fast. It was very unusual. I couldn't imagine how they could have got it anywhere other than if it already started in my city. Maybe the box was sitting here in a warehouse somewhere, I don't know. But it was so fast, and the support was so flawless that I couldn't have asked for anything better. So really, you don't have to worry about the support side, at least I didn't. It was a very good experience. They're still getting themselves on the map, so of course their customer support needs to be top-notch. But going through the list of things in a frequently asked questions list, there are a lot of positive things that you'll see through the checkboxes. So just to recap, it has a really good speed, it has excellent support, it has unlimited data, it has no throttling of the data, no tiers, no anything. It's maximum speed all the time. You can game, you can watch videos, you can of course download, upload. I stream, as you can tell, so I upload quite a bit. So the upload speed's acceptable. It's on the slower side, but still, most people tend to upload less than they download anyway, so it's the download speed that's really important. The app is really useful, and it can provide you a lot of information you wouldn't have otherwise known. The downside, and I'd say the only real downside, is the cost. The cost is high, but if you've ever had satellite, you know that $150 is in the realm of what you'd expect to pay for unlimited or a high amount of data. So you can probably get a satellite cheaper, but you're not going to get unlimited data. You're going to be at very least throttled once you get to a data limit. So the cost is really good. The upfront cost of actually buying the dish, which for me, I think because I pre-ordered right at the start, was about $800. That's Canadian. Was high for sure. And you don't get anybody to install that for you. But the dish itself is smarter than your average dish. I don't believe my last satellite dish was heated like this one is, so you don't have to worry about snow obstructions. And the fact that stormy weather doesn't in any way impact your connection is wonderful. So yeah, if you can afford it, it's absolutely worth it. And if you've ever had any other type of satellite, this one is better in every way it could possibly be. You'd be surprised. I bet you'd be hard pressed to notice a difference between this and a low to mid-tier physical cable connection or a really low tier fiber optic connection. It's that good. There has been no disconnections. I've had this now at least 6 months. It never goes down. In the news, when it first came out, there was their press release which said that, you can expect that there's going to be obstructions and there is going to be disconnections until they get more actual satellites in the sky, because they have so few up there that there is a time when there's just no physical connection. So you can expect some short outages. I've never had any. And once again, I'm on the East Coast in Canada. I'm not exactly in the prime spot where we usually get the best type of connection. So I'm very happy with it. So if you have any other questions, please leave a comment. I'll answer them in the comments. And if there's enough of them, I'll do another video. I just want people to know that the dish is absolutely worth the wait. And it really sucks to have to wait for something you're really excited about, but it's absolutely worth it. So anyway, thanks for joining.